My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and the grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Jesus, today as we spend this time of prayer with you, we hear in our gospel reading from the Gospel according to John this new commandment that you, on the night before you died, gave a new commandment to your new church, to the group of apostles, your friends. And you teach them many things in this Last Supper discourse, but right toward the beginning of it, you give them a brand new commandment to follow, something that's the capstone of all of the law, the prophets, everything that had gone before, and even we could say the pinnacle of all of your teaching to them. I give you a new commandment. Love one another. Love one another. To love each other. And that, as the church, as disciples of Jesus Christ, this is what we're supposed to do. And we should note that this is a commandment, right? We can often think of commandments just as something that we're not supposed to do, right? You shall not kill, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, things that we're not supposed to do. But here, Jesus gives us something positive that we have to do. This is a positive action that we have to take. Love one another. We have to do this. It's a commandment. And if we're going to be true disciples of Jesus Christ, we have to live in this love. The Christian life is not just about avoiding sin. Let's just try really, really hard to not sin. It's all about the negative view of everything. No, rather the Christian life is incredibly positive. And it could be rooted in this, to love one another, our charity toward others. Our relationship with others is rooted in love, and a total love, a real self-giving love. That when we love others, we love them as Jesus taught us, right? Because this is how Jesus teaches us. Love one another. As I have loved you, so you should also love one another. So what is the model for how we live this love of Jesus? It's by seeing the love of Jesus himself for us. Jesus, you love us. You lay down your life for us. These words, remember, come just from the night before you would die for us, giving everything for us. And so you say, as I have loved you, so you should also love one another. Because we first have been loved, because we've received your love, we're strengthened to live this great love for one another. And then you go on and say that this is how everyone will know that you're my disciples, if you have love for one another. So ultimately, the love that we have for each other, the love that the members of the church in particular bear toward their fellow Christians, but also toward the entire world, will be a motive of credibility. It'll be a thing by which non-believers will come to believe in the person of Jesus Christ, in the validity of the church, through witnessing love. There's a novel, Quo Vadis, by the Polish author Heinrich Sienkiewicz, which talks about the life of the early Christians, particularly in Rome, through the eyes of a Roman soldier, Marcus Vinicius. And this Vinicius falls in love with one of the Christian women. He actually just sees her from a distance and is overcome by her beauty. And then it's more of a lust than love at the beginning of the book. And he just desires her. And to the point that he tries to have her taken away into the court of the emperor. He tries to snatch her away by a number of other means. And then there's a certain point in the book where he actually tries to go and kidnap her out of a house. She's hiding from him. And he finds out where she is. And he brings a thug with him and tries to steal her, to kidnap her. And he walks into the house with this thug and just orders the guy to kill the people that are guarding her, and he's going to go in and take her away. And through one circumstance or another, it ends up that the thug himself is the one who's stopped, and that the girl is defended. And even here, Vinicius is wounded, not killed, but wounded and hurt as the Christians are defending this young girl. But they refuse to kill him. And in the end, they end up nursing him back to health, right? Here's this man who's caused tremendous difficulty for this young girl. And they nurse him back to health. They take care of him. He has a broken arm and a wound in his head, and they take care of him. They in fact call in a doctor, and he's there in the house, and then there's preaching happening and teaching and formation. The Apostle Peter even shows up at one point, and he witnesses the different way that these Christians live. And at one point, he's wondering why. Like, why are they doing this? It's so different from everything he's ever experienced. And reflecting, he says there's only one answer to all these questions, that they refrained from killing him through a goodness so great that the like of it had not been in the world up to that time, through an unbounded love of man, which commands to forget oneself, one's wrongs, one's happiness and misfortune, and to live for others. This is the love that Vinicius witnessed in the Christian household. And this is the love that ended up converting the entire pagan world, that Christians simply lived love. They lived love for one another, such that pagans were known to say about Christian people, these Christians, see how they love one another. That's how the early Christians lived this new commandment. And it was noticed. They didn't try to show it off, but it was noticed by the pagan world. And that led to tremendous conversions. There's even a scene toward the end of that book, Quo Vadis, where Christians are being put to death, and somebody comments, why don't they fight back? Why don't they defend themselves? Why don't they attack us, those who are putting them to death? And another wise person in the audience says they are fighting back, and in fact they're winning, because by the witness of their love and by the witness of their martyrdom, they converted the hearts of the crowd to a better way of living. And so we too, Jesus, are called to live this love that you teach us. We too are called to lay down our lives in love for our brothers and sisters, and to really live this love. To encounter a Christian should be to encounter a different way of living. Our world today can maybe be just as tense and just as violent and just as treacherous as the old pagan world, where everyone's always just trying to backstab someone. We're going to find out everything you do wrong, and we're going to post it on social media. We're going to permit everything but forgive nothing. And we, Jesus, who follow you, need to live differently in the midst of that. We have to live real mercy and real love. And particularly those people that may want to criticize us or offend us or call us names or anything like that, that we want to live love for them. And those who make terrible comments on social media and can cause us any kind of distress there, too, we want to pray for them. This is my commandment. Love one another. Jesus, you loved us, and even when we betrayed you and abandoned you and we put you to death through our sins, you still laid down your life for us. And this will be our motive of credibility. This will be how all nations, the gospel will be spread by the love that we have for one another, by the witness of true Christian community. Our Lady, our mother, was tremendously involved in this community. She was involved in this love and probably taught this love in many ways. And so, Mary, we ask you to help us live the love for one another that your Son taught us, so that we can bear witness to him throughout the world, and all nations can come to know the love that we have for one another, and above all, the love that your Son Jesus has for us. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations which you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help in putting them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.